Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is the path to the mother. My mom died from complications from a car accident when I was 24. I was a month away from 25. She had a gentleman that had one of those old school pickup trucks, you know, the cool kind, made out of metal, durable, but also heavy duty. He was a construction guy in his pickup truck for work, speeding and ran a red light, and he T-boned my mom right on the driver's side door as she was turning left. Interestingly, my mom, her entire life, would never turn left. I mean, she would, but she would make us late to things sometimes by taking all right-hand turns. And I'd be like, Mom, why don't you just turn left? And she would go, the left-hand turn is the least safe type of turn to make. she would rather drive safe and get us where we needed to go than to, be on time and follow societal norms. Good on you, Mama. May I be more like you. So yeah, she had a knowing that she would die, and she did. She was hit, took 3 attempts with the jaws of life to rip her out of her Honda that she was driving when the pickup truck hit her, and she was in the hospital for 10 full days, and then a blood clot in her leg went up into her lungs and ultimately killed her. She had bleeding on the brain, her ear was lacerated from her seatbelt, there were other complications going on, she was jaundiced. When I got to her in the hospital after the accident, I was living in Florida at the time. Ironically, 1 month later, I would have somebody T-bone me and cause my car to fly up in someone's lawn. I wasn't injured at all, but I did have a hysteric freak out that poor sacred person's front lawn because it triggered her accident a month earlier. That is the greatest loss I think any two-legged can experience because my mom was the coolest. Like, if you can imagine having Yoda as a parent and also, a non-preachy Yoda. You had to kind of dig with my mom a bit because she wanted me to have sovereignty and use my inner authority and my ancient wisdom from many lifetimes to form my own opinion of things. She never pushed her viewpoint. She was very freedom-loving that way. She exited. She exited when I was 24. I'm 47. Life will never be the same. They say time heals all wounds. Heather Feather always says yes, but it leaves a scar. And there's a scar there that you can always rub. And anytime you look down, you're reminded that it's there. And you remember what exactly caused that scar to be there. And so you'll heal, but you'll never be the same. You're changed. You're changed by the trials, tribulations, challenges, traumas. But just like my mom, being more attentive to driving slowly and safely with her children in the car instead of being on time, that is part of the path to the mother in the paradigm, is being nurturing. We've talked about the Pingala and the father and masculine principle on the right side of Muladhara, the root chakra, but you also have the Ida. The Ida sits on the left side of the Muladhara root chakra at the base of the pelvis, a 3.5 coiled turn snake. The Kundalini energy, the caduceus you see on every ambulance, the symbol for Mercury, where 2 serpents entwine up a staff. That is 3 points of the 72,000 nadis in Indian philosophy. We know often the 7 chakras, but those 7 chakras have 3 pivotal energy centers that make and comprise the Kundalini energy. The Sushumna, or staff, and the 2 serpents going up that, which is the symbol for medicine, pretty universally accepted. Those are the Ida and the Pingala, those 3.5 coiled turned snakes that are at the base of the pelvis, that at the midlife markers start to shake and reverberate, and if not utilized and unlocked, often, for many Westerners, cause a midlife crisis because it overactivates those lower base primal chakras like the Muladhara, like Svadhisthana. It starts to activate kind of sex, money, power issues, and then, people have midlife crisis because we're supposed to bring it up the Sushumna and out of the third eye and move it through the spiritual centers. That Ida is cool, lunar, receptive, cold. The symbol for feminine principle in astrology is a circle with a plus symbol at the end. Like a plus symbol, if I made a plus cut inside of paper, I'd be able to push my fingers through that, right? And if I take my hand and stick it into a vagina and grab and pull out, I come back with nothing. So the feminine principle represents the void, the emptiness, the nothingness, that thing that I go into. It's about going in. So I'm talking about genitalia symbology, and I'm talking about astrological symbology. I'm not talking about your genitals, because irrespective of your genitals, which are lovely no matter what your genitals look like. We have a lot of genitalia attachment in this realm. A lot of it, a genitalia form addiction. But everyone has an Ida on the left side of the Muladhara, which is the feminine principle. It's the receptive principle. It's cold, it's cooling, it's soothing, it's receptive, right? So feminine principle receives. And how can you nurture someone if you don't receive them? I told the story a few times. I was living in Austin, taco capital of the universe. Freaking Austinites love tacos. I was dating a man, and he was sick, and he owned his own construction company and built houses and worked really hard. And so I thought a sweet thing to do, because to me it would be a really sweet thing, because I was receiving myself, not him, would be to take him some breakfast tacos, because I figured he'd be hungry because he does heavy duty work. And I put shiitake mushrooms in it to boost his immune system. I specifically was making him breakfast tacos to strengthen his wellness. And I took them to him, and he ate them, and he called me later and he said, I really wish you hadn't done that. And I was like, what? I was like, what are we talking about? What do you mean? You don't want tacos? Are you even from Austin? What are we doing? But he was right. He basically was like, I actually try not to eat until dinner. And, because I could eat 72 of the tacos that you brought me. And so I try not to eat until dinner. I have like a thing of beef jerky or something during the day. But, if you bring me tacos, I'm going to eat tacos. And they were delicious. And thank you. But you're not like, that's not what I needed. Right. And so I can judge that, or, we can laugh at that or be like, how rude. But it was a big awakening for me. Everything's about how you choose to perceive and receive something. And Heather loves to learn and evolve. So it was like, okay, well, like, let me listen to this person that I care about. And like, what is my lesson in this? And the lesson was, in order to nurture, I need to know. In order for me to know how to nurture you, I need to receive you. I need to listen to you. I need to take you in. I need to bathe you inside my vessel and wash that around for a bit so that I understand what need it is that I'm actually nurturing, and if there's even a need present. I'm such an over-nurturer in Western or tropical astrology, Cancer moon and Mars. It's the way I feel and behave. I love to nurture. I love to cook for people. I love to, when people come to visit me, I'm like, take the bedroom and let me make you breakfast in the morning. I love to nurture a two-legged. I love it. I thrive at it. And I have many times in this life, in these 47 years, failed the nurturing component because I was receiving what I thought they would like. So when you nurture, do you receive the other person? Are you asking questions? There's a component of masculine principle in which we use our intellect and our strategy and our mind to make sure that we are asking the right questions to fully receive the person so that we can give the loving service nurturing act that we actually wanted to give. We can also nurture in the way we treat our clay bodies. So I've talked in previous videos through the path of the father about kind of and the path to manhood, that there are these quadrants of being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. The physical body, earth made of clay, Pachamama, Mother Earth, sacred Gaia, physical body belongs to the feminine principle. It belongs to the receptive principle. It's these clay bodies that carry the baby, receive the baby, build the baby. So they're a receptive vessel. Our clay has a receptive component, male and female bodies can receive cum, So our vessels are receptive. They have many holes. They're so wild. And so, they receive nutrients. They receive the sun. They receive water, so then the mental component being a masculine principle, the emotional component, which is a response to mental stimulus, is another receptive principle. We receive feelings as a response to the mental stimulus we're giving ourselves. Mind your mind. What are you putting your attention on? What are you filling your cup with? What are you placing into your vessel? What content are you giving your character? Because what you receive is often what you'll come to believe, because what you think about, you feel about, what you think about and feel about often becomes your belief construct and your belief matrix. So if you're not feeling good, ask yourself always, what is the masculine content I'm taking in, And then as you receive that, you naturally will bloom forth emotions. And so the way you feel is one of the paths to the mother. How do you feel? Paying attention to how you feel. How am I feeling? I feel anxious, overwhelmed, la la la. Well, maybe these aren't all my feelings. Maybe I'm feeling all the feelings of the world, because the world loves to focus on the negative. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 60 to 80% of them can be negative in nature if we don't reprogram our brain and if we don't mind the mind. So how are you feeling? Good. If it's not great, then what are you thinking about? What are you putting your attention on? I was just given guidance from the Akashic Records to do the eye exercise. And they said to me, less technology would be good. Putting your eyes on nature more would be good. This literally heals your eyes when you look upon nature, Heather. And you know this to be true, right? So what are you looking upon? What are you gazing upon? Because that's the consciousness, that's the content, that's the intellect that you're giving your mind to process and then feel about. And is it sacred and does it serve? Does it serve your aim, right? But also these clay bodies. How are you nurturing yourself? Not just others. Toxic femininity is where we constantly over-nurture others. We don't have healthy boundaries. We're not taking care of the self. This week I decided to switch to some hibiscus tulsi tea. If you don't know, hibiscus will naturally cool the body down internally. So if I had a mate that was mowing the lawn, I would go make him hibiscus tea, not lemonade. And I'd take him some hibiscus tea because it's going to cool him down from the inside out while they're doing that hot, sweaty work, right? Let's be real, I'd probably be more. But I use Tulsi hibiscus because Tulsi is also a mood balancer. A lot of us are developed empaths, weren't necessarily given any training or understanding in that because the feminine principle, in a lot of ways, our emotions and how to handle the body are not taught in this world. And so Tulsi is a natural mood balancer too. So not only is it going to cool you down through the hot summer months when your pitta and fire is really high, when we're in a fire elemental season, but it's also going to enhance your mood when you might feel a little agitated and aggravated because fire elemental can be angry and it's a fire season, right? So I keep that in the fridge. I take 6 bags of that and hot water. What does it cost me? Like $1.24, $2.14? I don't know. And then I have a huge pitcher of it and I drink it for a week and it's wonderful. And Heather loves a mood enhancer because she's got a lot of fire in her. So it's good to quell that fire sometimes. What are you doing with your body? Also this week, you can take cabbage, red cabbage, green cabbage. You can dice that up. Carrots, you can use your cheese grater and grate it and make a nice cabbage salad. Now you can do a coleslaw with that, with like a lemon poppy seed dressing. There's like a Myers lemon poppy seed dressing that I sometimes use to make coleslaw. But I don't use the dressing, so I just take that basically cabbage, which some studies show that cancer cells cannot thrive around cabbage cells. I take that cabbage carrot mixture, I put it inside of a lettuce leaf. If you're vegan, you can take garbanzo beans and kale that you roast in the oven and do like a nice tzatziki sauce on top, and even salsa, and have like a little taco wrap. If you do pasture raised chicken, always going to recommend pasture raised, supports soil health, helps the environment. If you do pasture raised chicken, you can take your iron skillet. I use one with grill marks when I'm grilling anything. Just had a veggie burger I grilled on it. Makes it look more legit. And then you can grill that in like a cooling oil, not like a sesame, which is heating, and it's a heating month, but something cooling like a sunflower oil. And then cut up that grilled chicken and put it on top of that cabbage and put it on top of that lettuce leaf. I use butter lettuce, or you can use romaine lettuce. Organic is always best. You don't have pesticides. If it kills an insect, it kills you. And then put some tzatziki sauce or some green chili sauce or some salsa or whatever flavor floats your boat. Delicious. I've been eating that meal this week. Friggin' delicious. So how are you handling your clay costume? I now get up in the morning, I do 10 minutes of yoga and 100 sit-ups and 40 push-ups. The way I developed caring for my clay costume is to slowly fold in a little more exercise every single week or two or every single month. I'm not real systematic about it, but it's just like, okay, I'm pretty good at doing 10 minutes yoga and 100 push-ups. Okay, now I'm going to fold in 40 push-ups. Technically, I've added 10 like back bends that I do now. So I do that every morning. Why? Because my clay costume has to drag this massive spirit around every day. So nurturing my body, nurturing my heart, nurturing the bodies and hearts of others, being kind about other people's bodies, being kind about other people's feelings, being considerate, giving other people the mic to speak about how they feel, are all ways that we can take the path to the mother. And of course, honoring Mother Earth by buying pasture-raised, grass-fed, being mindful of how we be green by going to thrift stores and not buying new, go to the thrift stores, not buy new, go to thrift stores, not buy new. We've got Egyptian shamanism coming up August 9th. It'll be Wednesday nights for 8 weeks. We'd love to have you join us. Go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link. You can always subscribe and comment on YouTube. I'm Moon.